Yeah. And I ain't even pushed the pedal on. I ain't even turned my clever on. I've been praying for a while that I get on. Niggas knocking on wood like that nigga Geppetto home. This shit did to me. That's the antelope, illest alive, the antidote. Nigga and some dope. How with my niggas I sit and float. My mind afloat, flint on my cloak. I feel ghost face in the robe. Sincere in the rover. Gotta find something new. Idolized drug dealers. I thought them niggas was cool. Not knowing what they was doing. All the shit they was into.
Yo, welcome to the very first episode of The Problem and the Solution, man. I'm your host, Drizzle. Today we got a special guest in the building. Nah, fucking with you, I ain't no guest in the building. It's just me, man. This is a show, man, for me to pretty much get my shit off, talk about shit I want to talk about shit I don't want to talk about. Of course, everybody is aware of the elephant in the room. The coronavirus, COVID-19, which is going on, is taking over anything and everything that you love. Like, you can't get away from it. You sign in on the computer, you're getting fucking tips on how to avoid getting the coronavirus, social distancing, self-quarantining, upping your hygiene. Not shaking hands with people, 6 feet distance with people, not getting in large groups of over 10 people. It's everywhere. I haven't been able to watch Sports Center or anything like without this shit being a topic. It's more of a downer right now. It's a buzzkill. It's not something that you want to see all the time, but you can't avoid it. So you got to educate yourself about it to a certain extent, at least to just be aware of what's going on and what's going on in your city or, your state or, other countries like Italy, China, other places that have been plagued with the virus as well. But, I one thing that I do want to say, because I don't want to stay on this topic too long just because it's talked about everywhere by everybody. I just want to say, man, that it's me personally. I felt like, I ain't even going to say I felt, but the way I always look at things, I never want to overreact and I never want to underestimate either. I kind of want to play the middle, and observe and see what's going on. I don't want to be one of those people where it's like you tell me something and I just immediately jump 100% to the left. I want to sit there, observe, and be like, damn, okay, but what about this? So this shit's been going on for a while, and it hit the U.S. almost maybe 3 weeks ago. But when it really hit was when the day Rudy Gobert, this nigga Rona Rudy, he was playing around. He didn't know he had it. Touched the microphones in a little press conference thing, early in the day before a basketball game. He ends up testing positive. Right after that, his teammate Donovan Mitchell tests positive. Donovan comes out, says, Rudy was being real reckless. He was touching everybody. He was touching people's stuff in the locker room. And after that, the NBA just completely shut down. And it's been shut down ever since. So the feel behind it was that a lot of people were blaming Rudy Gobert he pretty much stopped the world. Because from that day, he will always be known as the jackass who did not take it serious, had the coronavirus, played around, and got other people sick. Not only did he get Donovan Mitchell sick, I heard that there was a cameraman or a reporter who was in the locker room that day who are around, at the time, who also got sick, and I heard that he's in a coma. An induced coma, medically induced coma. I don't know if that's true or not. Didn't really look into it. Just something I heard. But yeah, man, ever since that day, the world kind of, and especially for me and other Americans, the world it didn't stop, but it like shifted and it went left. Everybody was panicking. People were buying a shitload of toilet paper. Still have no idea what people are doing with 10,000 pounds of toilet paper. Like, people are going crazy. And it's funny because we went to the store probably a few days after the whole Rudy Gobert thing happened, and we get to the store and we went to Sam's Club. There was no grocery carts. We had to use a flatbed. And we see people in there with masks and people in there in gloves. One thing I want to say about people in the mask, people need to understand that, yes, the mask prevents you from getting ill or, getting the virus. If so, you were to touch something, then, touch your mouth or your face or whatever. But if you think that you wearing the mask will solely protect you from the mask is to protect you from getting other people sick, not the other way around. Then you got people that are wearing carpenter masks. Like, people don't really know what the fuck they're doing. They're just grabbing a mask and be like, I'm protected. So it's a lot of confusion going on. And then you go to the store, you can't find no hand sanitizer nowhere. So number one, this lets me know a lot of people probably still are not washing their hands because there is a boatload of hand soap. So there was no hand sanitizer for us to get, but we loaded up on hand soap. Because at least one thing we're going to do in this motherfucking house, we're going to wash our goddamn hands. No hand sanitizer, though. But hand soap to go for everybody. So I know I seen a lot of people online saying, oh, it's so easy to make hand sanitizer. And fuck all that. I understand you want to keep a little bit in your car, maybe in your pocket, when you go out, when you got to go out, to the essential places, at the grocery store, the bank, get gas, whatever. Some of us that still have to go to work. I understand you still want to keep a travel pack in hands. Cool. But in large parts, if you in the crib, you don't need to be using hand sanitizer. Wash your hands with, warm water, some hand soap, and you're good to go. So for all you people out there who can't find hand sanitizer, get you some hand soap. So at least when you're at the crib, you can wash your goddamn hands. But before I get off this topic, man, and move on to something else, one thing I want to say, man, is that I've noticed that it's a lot of people, and it's a lot of people from every demographic, every age group, every background, religion. It's a lot of people who are still out moving like shit's normal. And I understand people, that's how they cope with things. Some people are like, well, I got to continue at least doing something semi-normal because I'm not used to just being cooped up in the house. And I completely understand that. And it's people my age that are out, people that are older than me, and people that are younger. But the main culprits that I see that are out and about are you niggas that are born after 1994, bruh. Like, I literally just had this conversation with somebody the other day because he was trying to tell me, I'm 27 about to be, matter of fact, I'm 28 in a week. Shout out to all the Aries out there. But I'm 28 years old, and I just had an argument with one of the homies the other day because he was like, yeah, bro, people, people our age are out down there at spring break, and we're the main ones, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold on, bro, let me stop you real quick. Though that ain't my age, bro. That ain't my generation. Like, I understand you saying, because we 28, and them niggas that is down there, they might be 24, maybe some 25, but the majority is 18 to probably 23 that was down there for spring break. Don't get me wrong, you had some older cats there. Dickheads. You had some older cats there. But the main age group that was there was college kids, bruh. They 18 to 23, maybe 24 years old. 18 to 24, bruh. That's not my generation. Them niggas was born after 94. We don't claim them. Yeah, they might be 90s babies, but if you was born between 90 and 94, you don't claim motherfuckers born in 95, 96, 96. We don't claim them, bro, because they're weird. They are weird. They do not operate the same way that we operate. They did not grow up the same way that we grew up. They OGs is different from our OGs. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened. I don't know what transpired. And I'm not saying all you niggas that are born after 94 are weirdos. But if you're in a room with 10 people born after 1994, 7 of them are weird. Like there's no debating that. 7 of them are weird. Off tops. But what I want to say is that I've noticed that these youngins, I can call them youngins, I'm almost 30, but I'm noticing that these youngins, they got this false sense of reality. Like, don't get me wrong, I was a little, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, niggas is overreacting. Like, it's blah, 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 blah. Like, y'all tripping, man. But then when you see numbers like Italy just had 946 people die in 24 hours from it. It's a lot of motherfucking people. You know what I'm saying? And that's a country of about 60 million people. You know, probably a little bit more, a little bit less or whatever. But to have 900 people die in 24 hours from a virus, something that spreads and that will continue to grow, continue to mutate. It's like, hey, yo, like, I might want to stay in the crib. And you got these youngins and like they got this false sense of reality where they feel like they're invincible, where they feel like it can't hurt me, or they feel like, you know, if I get it, I'm gonna bounce back, which it might be true for the majority, but it's not true for everybody. And who's to say that when you get it, you don't pass it on to your 47-year-old mother, or you don't pass it on to your 70-year-old aunt, or your 65-year-old uncle, you know what I'm saying? Or your 55-year-old dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say you don't pass that thing on to older relatives who are more at risk than you are? See what I'm saying? And so, like, I feel like a lot of these youngins, a lot of these young people, they got this false sense of reality wrapped in the privilege. And when you take that false reality and you combine it with privilege, because a lot of them are privileged. When you combine it with privilege, it's like a quiet storm, because they can't even see what the fuck is going on in the real world. But they also don't feel like that they have to do any research or find that level of understanding, because they're privileged. So they don't feel like they have to understand where everybody else is coming from, where everybody's telling them to stay inside. They feel like they don't have to. Why I gotta stay inside? I went down to Miami for spring break to have a good time. I'm gonna have a good time. I get on Facebook, I see motherfuckers talking about, y'all think this coronavirus is gonna stop my trip to New Orleans in May? You got me fucked up. I'm still going. And I'm sitting here like, bruh, bitch, you got kids. You got kids. And you talk about taking a trip to New Orleans in the middle of a fucking world crisis, an epidemic? Something ain't right. Like, something's off, and like a lot of y'all just off your rocker, bruh. And I don't understand. Like, I'm not telling people to panic and go buy all the toilet paper they can find. All that. I'm not telling people to do none of that. But at the same time, we all live in this reality, so we gotta be real. So we gotta look at it with some sense of urgency. You know, we gotta look at it like, okay, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. I'm not gonna go all the way crazy, but I'm definitely gonna prepare myself for something that could come or could not come. Like, I'd rather be prepared than unprepared. You see what I'm saying? And the people who are prepared for what eventually is probably going to happen, they're going to be the ones that are going to be fine. And then when this whole shit's over, they're going to come out okay. Everybody's going to take a hit, but the hit is going to be minimal for them versus the other people. It's going to be catastrophic. It's going to be drastic. It's going to be life changing. Because if shit keeps going the way it's going to go down, we're going to get on a nationwide lockdown. Or at least majority of the states are going to go on a statewide lockdown. Because that's the only way to fight the curve, is to keep people away from each other at this moment, so that it can get under control. The numbers can go down with the cases that they got. The hospitals can get back. You know what I'm saying? Supplies can come back. Like, that's why they're telling everybody to social distance. That's why they're telling everybody, if you feel like you got it, or if you do get it, and you can't get a spot at the hospital, or you can't get tested, like, self-quarantine. Like, do your best job to self-quarantine yourself. Take care of yourself. Stay away from your loved ones for a while. Like, do what you got to do. And even after you are cleared of having the virus, they said it can stay in your body for up to like 6 weeks, and you're a carrier. And so it's like you're looking at a 2 to 3 month span where you gotta just lay down. You feel me? Like, you gotta just, like, if you got it, you can't have it for 2 weeks and then it's over with and you go back to work, or you go back to being around no, you're more than likely you're a carrier. Like, it's still in you for at least another 4 to 6 weeks. So why? So for a lot of people, I think that it's not really gonna hit them until somebody close to them or somebody that they know is directly affected by this. And that sucks. Like, that really sucks that it's gonna take people to die close to you for you to be like, oh shit. Or somebody close to you to be get put into a medically induced coma because they got COVID-19, and you wake up like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have went to spring break, or maybe I shouldn't have took that $40 flight from goddamn Washington DC to Chicago last week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I shouldn't have took that round trip from California to New York because it was $25. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. You know, so all I'm saying, man, I just want people to think and realize, man, that that we live in a society, we live in a world where a lot of times it seems like shit is what it is. It seems like shit is what it is, and no matter what we do, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, which may be true a lot of times, but with something like this that is so major and is so crazy, and just like you can't even like imagine the shit's going on. But with something like this, an event like this, a worldwide event like this, it's so little that we can do to stop it, but it's so much that we can do to change the outcome. Now, I'm not saying that we can stop everybody from dying. No. People will die. People will get sick. But where we come into play and we can adjust the curve. So right now we might be on track. I don't know, because Italy is at, I want to say, over 9,000 deaths. The U.S. is at maybe almost 2,000. I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but I know we're over 1,000 in the U.S. With over 100,000 confirmed cases, we got over 1,000 deaths. Who's to say that in 2 weeks that 100,000 confirmed cases doesn't jump to 500,000, and then we're at 10,000 deaths? You see what I'm saying? But what if we're able to adjust the curve, and yeah, we might still have, instead of us getting 500,000 confirmed cases, we're at like 350,000, and we only got 2,500 deaths. And I don't want to say only, like it's a slight, but compared to what it could be, compared to what we can possibly make it and change the outcome. So all I'm saying is, man, everybody, you got to take care of you, take care of yours, be safe, and just understand that your part of humanity can be aiding or it can be detrimental. You know, you can be somebody who contracts it and then who say you don't know that you have it because you're not getting any symptoms, but you're a carrier. And then you go out in public and you shake somebody's hand, or you dap somebody up, or you might sneeze and somebody walks 30 minutes later through where you sneezed at. Now they got it. Then they take it home and they're giving it to their mother, to their daughter, to their husband, to their brother. You see what I'm saying? Like, one person can infect so many people. That's all I'm saying is, man, everybody just needs, this is the time, like, where we kind of need to come together. Not saying everybody got to join hands, kumbaya, but it's almost like we got to, as humans, you got to have a moral compass. You got to have some type of you know, humanity in you to be like, all right, like, this is what we need to do. All right, but this is what I'm about to do. I'm gonna do my part. All we can do is do your part. I can do my part. You can do your part. They can do their part. Whatever. That's all we can do. We can't make everybody do what we think that they should do. All I can say is that us as humans, part of humanity, bro, we gotta have some type of moral compass. And like I said, for you young fucks out here meeting up at parks, still meeting up at parks, like, it's a sunny day, the parks be fat. Like, what's good with you? Like, for all you young motherfuckers, man, like, take y'all asses in the crib, bro. Y'all ain't nothing open. Y'all can't get y'all hair. Only thing open is gas stations, food spots. You can't even sit down. You got to go through the drive-thru and the grocery store. If it ain't essential, it's not open right now. Go home. I understand. You want to go take a walk in the park. Cool. That's fine. Go take a walk. Walk the block. Get some sun, and you get some sunlight. Get some fresh air. Do that. But don't be congregating with 10, 15, 20, 30 people in the park. Don't be doing that dumb shit. Like, don't be having kickbacks. Like, no, that's not what this night. We are grounded. we are on adult grounded mode, bruh. Niggas can't go to work. Niggas is losing jobs. School is closed. Barbershops closed. Hair salons closed. Like, if it's not essential, that shit shut down, bruh. So if you don't gotta go outside, like I said, I understand going to the grocery store. I understand going to get some fresh. I understand all that. But don't be linking up and having little parties, little kickbacks. Man, that shit's dead. That shit should be dead. It shouldn't even cross your mind. But yeah, man, like I said, man, young niggas, take your asses in the crib. We all got to do our part. Hopefully, we've seen the worst week that we've seen. They're saying that it's going to get worse. And every time they say it's going to get worse, it gets worse. Hopefully, we've seen the worst week, man. And I just hope that everybody's taking care of themselves, man. And they might be out of hand sanitizer, but they still got hand soap. So wash your hands. But that's enough of that corona shit. Let me see. What else I want to talk about, man? Damn, bro. Basketball's over. I mean, for right now, basketball's over. Now, you know what I was thinking, man? I was watching my dog Westbrook, man. Shout out my man Russ, man. Russ been my favorite player since 2011. Like, it took me a while to let go of T-Mac, because T-Mac, that's my guy. Anybody knows that's my favorite player, my favorite athlete. Him and Randy Moss, my two favorite athletes of all time. But it took me a while to let go of my dog T-Mac, but I finally let go of my dog T-Mac, and I was looking for a new favorite player, man, and I was like, damn, bro, do I want to be I want to be a KD fan? I was like, nah, I don't know. I mean, I like KD. KD's a dog, but I was like, I don't know if I'm a Durant fan. And I don't know what it was, man, but I just fell in love with the way Russ plays. And to me, he's not that no more. He's, you know what I'm saying, he's older, he's 30. Injuries play a part, you know what I'm saying? But back in 2000, I want to say 2000, the year that Derrick Rose won the MVP. That was at 2010-11 season, the year Rose won the MVP. Rose won MVP that year, but Russ was a better player than him. And I've argued with a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, Derrick Rose didn't play with a Kevin Durant. So we're not even talking like numbers per se. And don't get me wrong, Derrick Rose, MVP Rose, was a dog. Like, MVP Rose was a dog. The youngest MVP of all time. Like, he was a problem. Like, if it wasn't for injuries, he'd still be a problem in the league today. He still hoops. He does his thing. He's just not as explosive as he used to be because of the knee injuries and everything like that. But during that time period, to me, Russ was just as good as Derrick Rose, if not better. You can check the numbers. I don't have the numbers right here in front of me, but you can check the numbers. I've had this debate numerous of times. But the reason why I bring this up is because I saw a chart today where it had NBA players. It had each NBA franchise had its best player, like its greatest player. And so OKC had Westbrook. And I was like, okay, I can see that. If it's going off the stats, the things that he did there over longevity, like Russ is Mr. Thunder. So that makes sense. But then you keep going down and you get to the Raptors and it's Kawhi Leonard. And I'm like, well, hold on, though. Bro was only there for one season. You know what I'm saying? Bro was only there for one season. He won a ring. It's the most important stat. He won a ring, but he doesn't longevity there. Like, he doesn't really have a history there. He made history there, but he doesn't have history there. So I'm looking at the list and I'm like, damn. So I'm looking for KD's name. I'm like, is he OKC? I mean, not OKC. Is he in Golden State? And I'm like, nah, that's Steph. It got to be Steph. And it was Steph Curry. So I'm looking at the list. I'm like, damn. Kevin Durant ain't make the list. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dog, I don't. To me, I'm like, man, can my fandom have me take Russ off this list? Because don't get me wrong, Kevin Durant is a better basketball player than Russell Westbrook. Like, always has been. It might have been maybe distantly close at one point while they was playing together, but KD's always been the better nigga. Facts. Russ was the alpha, personality wise. KD was the beta, but talent wise, KD was the alpha talent, superior. He was just the best nigga on the planet. But I'm like, man, I know what Russ did over here because he was there for longer than KD. He was there for 3-4 more years than KD. You know what I'm saying? And so his numbers are going to be more. He achieved more in OKC than KD because he was there longer. So I was like, if we're going off based off what you did in totality for that team, then yes, Russell Westbrook is Mr. Thunder. He's the greatest Thunder player of all time if we're going off totality. But if we're going out off of the best player and what they did there while they were at their best, then it has to be Kevin Durant. And I know I got off topic. I was talking about Westbrook and Derrick Rose, but the reason why I brought up Russ is because I was thinking about this list. But like I said, it would have to be Kevin Durant. See, but it's weird because Kevin Durant falls into this funky ass category because he left OKC in his prime to go to Golden State to win a ring. See, but he left a future MVP and a dog in Russell Westbrook in OKC to go play with a 2-time MVP and an already finals champion in Steph Curry. So when he got to Golden State, like, he was pretty much like a mercenary. He was already behind the 8 ball. Like, even though he got 2 finals MVPs and he helped the Warriors get to 2 championships, well, 3 championships, and they won 2. He was never going to be what Steph Curry is to the Warriors. You see what I'm saying? Now, he left at that weird point, and the way that he left from OKC, he left a stain. It was a stain, and Russ grabbed that stain and rubbed it out as best as he could. And if you ask any Thunder fan who Mr. Thunder is between Russ and KD, they're going to tell you it's Russ. Just because of the way that KD left, how everything went down, the beef between KD and the city, KD and the organization, KD and Russ, like, it was real. It was basketball beef. And I don't think it ever went anything beyond basketball, but it was when they seen each other, they wanted all the smoke. They wanted all the smoke for a couple years. I think they ended up kind of like patching up, here and there, but it's not like it used to be. But yeah, like, KD falls into this weird space because he left at an odd time. Like, it's hard to explain, and then it's like, damn, like, you can't justify him at all being. He's like, without it, he's not Mr. Warrior. That's Steph. The Thunder one, it's honestly the way that KD left and what Russ achieved after KD left makes it a toss-up. And depending on what you want to make your criteria is for being the best player for a franchise, whether it's what they achieved in totality or what they achieved when they was at their best, you can make an argument for either or. You could take Russ's best versus KD's best. And Russ's best, my God, 42 triple-doubles in a season, averaging 30. Like, averaged a triple-double with 30. Nuts. Now, KD did some crazy shit, too, scoring-wise. Like, before James Harden went on his tear, these past couple seasons, KD was that nigga scoring. And he's still that nigga scoring, but I mean, he got hurt. He played with the Warriors, so he had to do as much for his low wise. But we know KD he's a scoring machine, bro. We've all seen Kevin Durant score 35 points off 12 shots before. Like, that's what he does. Like, we've seen him put on clinics. But can't sneeze with Russ did either. Bruh had 42 triple-doubles in a season, averaging 30. Who did it twice? Averaged a triple-double. My fault. He averaged a triple-double 3 seasons in a row. Who does that? Who can do that? And I know people say, LeBron can do it. Oh, he hasn't done it. So I don't want to. I don't want to hear about what niggas can do. He hasn't. He's never done it. Never done it. Average a triple-double with 30. Now, we want to talk about playoff success. That's a whole nother conversation. My dog Russ ain't been out the first round since Kevin Durant left. Cool. It happens. Players fuck up. Players lose. It's the game. Only one I'm going to blame on Russ is the Portland series. That's because him and Dame got the beef. Russ, you got to show up. You know what I'm saying? The Jazz series, that's on playoff P. The year before that, when they lost to Houston, it was Russ and his number 2 option was Andre Roberson, bro. Like, you go back and watch that series where the Thunder played the Rockets in the first round, and the Rockets weren't even checking the shooters. They had 5 niggas in the paint the entire series, bro. Like, it was Russ against the world, and OKC lost, rightfully so. But my dog Russ has not been at the first round since Kevin Durant left. Cool, you can bring that up. We can talk about that, whatever. I do not care. I'm talking about strictly the regular season. And I'm telling you that for a nigga to average, first time he did it, average 30 and a triple-double is amazing. And then he averaged a triple-double again. Then he averaged triple-double again. And he's the sole reason why people don't even get excited about triple-doubles no more. Because he made the shit so common. It's like, another triple-double tonight in the NBA. Another triple-double tonight in the NBA. Like, bruh's running off 40-plus triple-doubles every season. He kind of killed the triple-double. But with that said, it's a hell of a goddamn achievement. To not do it once, do it twice, but 3 times. So that's why me, as a Russ fan, I get so mad at people when they talk negatively about Russ. Like, oh, he's this, he's that. I'm like, bro, none of Russ's teammates have ever complained about him. You watch those games, and after when you can watch that game when he sent Denver home at the end of the season to get his 42nd triple-double to make history with a game-winning 3 from the moon. From the moon. His teammates was so ecstatic for bruh. His teammates was so ecstatic for him. Bruh, if your teammates don't like you, they not getting that happy for you, man. Bro, the Thunder roster would die for Russ, bro, because they know Russ would die for them on the court. That's why I never understood how people would sat there and say Russell is a bad teammate. He's this, he's that. Nah, bro, Russ ain't a bad team. He's an angry nigga. He's an angry teammate for sure. He's gonna bark at you. He's gonna let you know what's up. But he ain't no bad teammate, bro. Never been called a bad teammate by anybody. When Paul George made the request to want to get traded to the Clippers, he told, "Hey, bro, don't y'all say nothing bad about Russ, never." Cause he already knew, bro. Like, people was gonna try to blame Russ for PG wanting to leave. Russ wanted to leave too. That's how he got to Houston. He requested a trade too. So yeah, man. I don't know. It's really a toss up. I'm gonna just agree with the list. The list had Russ as the greatest Thunder player of all time, man. So I'm gonna have to agree with that, man. And KD, bro, you just out here in limbo, bro. Like, you still a GOAT. Don't get me wrong. You a GOAT, bro. KD's a dog. But when, as far as it comes to the greatest on an individual team, bro, since like what you did, it kind of diminished it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you would have won a ring in OKC, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But y'all didn't win a ring in OKC. You went to Golden State. You got you 2 rings, got you 2 Finals MVPs, and now you that nigga, but you just not that nigga for an individual team. But shit, man, that's a wrap, man. I ain't got really too much to talk about, man. I just want to get on here and shoot some shit for the first episode. Honestly, for real, I want to do something where I'll have people email me questions for my next episode, and I'll answer them and shit like that. Like, well, give me topics to talk about that you want me to talk about and touch on and shit like that. Besides the coronavirus, besides that shit, I'm versatile, man. I talk about anything. But now what I want to do, man, I want people to hit me up at my email. You can hit me up at lamondredeshawn@gmail.com. Send me some topics. You know what I'm saying? Just put in, in the subject line, just put topics for show. Give me some topics y'all want me to talk about. Ask me some questions you want me to answer, man. And shit.
I told her that I cannot let you go, let it go. Summer's over now, it's hitting October, and she killing me. She said that she ain't love me no more. Fuck it, my God, trying to get up on these niggas' iPods, staying out of trouble, trying to beat our low's odds. Levi jeans and a Stussy tee, living our lives like it's filmed through a movie. And
maturation of me is the restoration of vintage. Eric B. Stookie, Rock Kim's pendant. Rules we don't break them, sometimes Mercedes Benz. Double line tundras laced in every sentence. Lace every feature, tubes off in my sneakers. One hell of a speaker, microphone controller. To the West End where Juvie was to the know. You know some niggas that'll clap you and whoever you roll with. I'm talking true rollers, no imaginary plan. Look, pick and pop your spot up. That Nicolas, then it's goodbye. Bonjour to the content of Mr. Bomb shit with Osama bin Laden's harshness. That's just my